All right, Collector 007 here with just a quick story about something that happened to me last week. And why you should always have situational awareness about you, and why the people that you're with should always have situational awareness. In this case, it actually was my wife, believe it or not, that alerted me to a potential hazard. So, long story short, we were down in the Palm Beach area for a vacation, looking for a property, and we were out at a very, very nice area where they had a festival, let's just say. So people were doing displaying artwork and custom crafts and stuff like that. And she wanted to go, and she dragged me with her. And so I went. Anyway, so it was a nice balmy evening, 78 degrees. Everyone's in a happy mood, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and the festival was in a little town, and the parking was, full. And so we had to park a street or so away from the actual festival. So if you're looking at this here, the festival was sort of over here. And then there was actually one more street and a street, and then we parked our car over here, and they were diagonal parking spots, and so that's our car here. So when we left the festival, we sort of went down this way here, and then we walked up this street right over here on the sidewalk. There's a sidewalk right here, and there's me, and there's the lovely bride right there. And then we were going to walk right across to the car. Now over here is some little stores and some bars, and one of them is a pool hall. And it didn't really, bother me or anything. I've actually been in that area before. I was aware, what was there and so forth. But anyway, as we were walking, my wife actually was the first to pick up on it, which was a surprise and really shame on me. But she mentioned the word Newtonian, and my wife is a highly educated person. I'm the dummy in the family, and she's got all kinds of degrees and blah, blah, blah. And she mentioned Newtonian, which is, to us, it's a code word. So for us, besides, Newton, the apple and all that, Newtonian for us means, when you hit a pool ball and it knocks into another pool ball, that's called the Newtonian effect. Or also, if you've ever seen those little toys they have where you drop a ball on a pendulum and it hits the other balls and they all go back and forth. That's also, I believe, the Newtonian effect. Anyway, I might be 100% wrong on that, but that's just something that we've been using as a code word for a while. So when she said Newtonian to me, I did look around quickly, and I saw these three sort of inebriated guys kind of walking quickly toward us. And one of the sad things about life these days is when you go on vacation, if you happen to have nice watches or jewelry or, things like that, it's almost like you don't want to take them with you when you're on vacation. But this time my wife, she wore a lot of our jewelry, and it's expensive jewelry that we've accumulated over the years by working very hard. So she wanted to wear it. So I said, hey, your jewelry costs someone's house down here. But nevertheless, go ahead. If it makes you happy, go ahead and do it. So trying to make this as quick as possible. But anyway, she mentioned Newtonian. And now I have a Connecticut permit as well as a Florida permit to carry a handgun. So I had a little snub nose in my waistband, but I also had this knife here. So I had this little SOG knife here with me, which is a good knife. I had packed it in my check luggage when we went down there, and I used it to carry around. I figured it's a very non-threatening knife. It's got a wood handle. If people see it in my shorts or pants, whatever, it's not going to make any old ladies cry or anything like that. So when she said Newtonian, I did take a look, and I glanced around, and I did notice that for that moment there was no cars in this street, and we would have to cross the street to get to our car. And that's typically when you're going to be attacked, when you're getting into your car. Once you open that door, bad guy, they're going to rush you, and they're going to, if I'm opening the door for her, which I always do, I always open the door for her, then she locks it, then I walk around, she unlocks it, and I get back in, and then I lock it. That's just the protocol that we use. But once you open the door, that's the perfect time for someone to bum rush you, so to speak, because you're now wedged in between that door. And if they push you in, especially if it's a woman by herself, they could push her in the car, and the God knows what could happen. But with two people, most likely they were just trying to rob us and take our possessions, which I don't want to give up. And so anyway, here's the fact that I'm getting to. Once she said that, I stopped in my track and I turned around and I slightly lifted up my shirt, not totally exposing the handgun in there, but I did put my hand in my pocket and I took this out and I held this at my waist and I said very loudly, "Don't worry, honey, there's only 3 of them." And when I said that, they all went back to the left side instead of continuing to follow us. So now, I'm just guessing if these were good guys going up to their car, they would have just thought I was a mental case and they would have continued going to the car. The fact that they quickly made a left turn there with their bodies and walked away meant they were up to no good. And again, I could just tell they had sort of had that crackhead kind of look to them and they looked a little drunk and so forth. So point is, nothing really happened, but be aware of your surroundings. Sometimes even when you're in a nice area, an expensive area, things could go wrong. A lot of times people, it cracks me up, people say, I only carry a gun if I'm going into a bad area or whatever. Well, unless you're clairvoyant and you could, see the future, good for you. But I can't. And this was a time that I must admit, my guard was down a little bit. I'm not a drinker, so I wasn't drunk. I was enjoying a nice Cuban cigar. So I was in a relaxed state of mode. And we were going to go drive over a beautiful causeway and sit by the beach and so forth, which we did. And we still continued, on our merry journey after this. But if it wasn't for her saying that and for her being aware, who knows what could have happened. Again, we could have just obliviously crossed the street and they could have rushed us, taken our jewelry, taken her expensive pocketbook and all my stuff, and that would have been a problem. So be aware of your surroundings. That's all this is, a public service announcement. Be aware of your surroundings and have your spouse or significant other be aware of their surroundings when they're with you, because it's better to have, 2 heads are better than 1, as they say. So that's it. Just a simple situation. You just never know when trouble can turn up. So, okay, so maybe this will help someone. I hope it does. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.